Hi guys. So today for my read aloud, I decided to do a fairy tale book called The Princess and the Pea, and it is by Miles Kelly and it's illustrated by Charlotte Cook. So remember when before all of this happened, we covered a couple fairy tales in school. We talked about Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Cinderella, and Jack and the Beanstalk were the three that we got to cover before. Oh, and then Rapunzel as well. Because we compared and contrasted Rapunzel and Tangled, the differences between those two stories. So remember, a fairy tale is a made-up story. So they have fictional characters, and it's a fiction book because it's not real. It's there to entertain you. So remember that because one of your comprehension questions at the end of this will be, what is a fairy tale? So remember to answer that. And if you need to go back, you can hear me say what the definition is. But I'd like you to try to do it on your own first. Okay, so here is Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, there was a handsome prince. He had everything he could wish for, but was quite lonely. His parents, the king and queen, said that it might be time for him to look for a bride. The prince thought that this was a good idea, so he started his search for the perfect princess. He held parties all over the kingdom where he met plenty of perfectly pleasant girls who said they were princesses. He also met some unpleasant princesses. None, it seemed to him, were quite right, but he carried on looking. The prince traveled to faraway lands where royal families presented a host of suitable young ladies, but there was always something not quite right, such as too many pets or terrible table manners. Nowhere could he find a princess who lived up to his high standards. So the prince returned to his palace, where he sat reading dusty books and getting very sad. One wintry night there was the most terrible storm. The prince huddled close to the fire. Just as everyone was going to bed, there was a loud knocking at the door. Knock, knock, knock. The king and queen and prince went to see who it was. There, absolutely dripping wet and covered in mud, stood a girl. No one could have looked less like a princess, but that is exactly what the girl claimed to be. Everyone thought it was very unlikely that the girl was a princess, but they invited her in and told her to take a seat by the fire. The girl sat sipping a mug of warm milk and slowly dried off. As the girl grew warmer, the prince noticed how rosy her cheeks were and how pretty her laugh was. The queen noticed the attention her son was paying to this mystery girl, and she decided to test whether or not she really was a princess. The queen went to the finest spare room and gave orders to the maids. She told them to take all of the bedclothes and the mattresses off the bed. Then she placed one single pea on the middle of the bedstead. Next, the maids piled dozens of mattresses, sheets, feather quilts, and warm blankets on top of the pea. Then the girl was shown to her room and left alone for the night. In the morning, the queen swept into the bedroom and asked the girl, "How did you sleep, your highness?" "I didn't sleep well at all," she replied. "There was a great hard lump in the middle of the bed. It was quite awful. I'm sure I am black and blue all over." The queen was delighted. This meant that the girl really was a princess, for only a true princess could be as sensitive as that. She is a princess after all. The prince proposed to the princess at once, and they lived happily ever after. The pea was placed in the Royal Museum, where it probably still is today. The end. All right. Well, so I just have two comprehension questions for you guys today, and they just need to answer those. They don't have to write them down unless you want them to. So the first question that I would like you guys to answer is, why did the princess not sleep well? What caused her to say that she was black and blue all over? And then my second question is, what is a fairy tale? And then for the writing activity today, I want you guys to fill in the blank to this following sentence. So it says the princess is as delicate as a blank. So delicate means that she's fragile or she's sensitive. So I want you guys to find a word that or a thing that is delicate and fill in that sentence. So again, the sentence is the princess is as delicate as a blank. So fill in that, and I'll write it on the bottom of this post, so then that way you guys can see what the sentence starter should be, and then they just need to fill in the meaning of another word that means the same as delicate. So remember, delicate means sensitive, fragile, or easily broken. I hope you guys enjoyed the story today, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will post another read aloud on Monday. All right, bye.